If you are over 60 and you keep waking up with a dry mouth, a sticky tongue, or a desperate need for water in the middle of the night, you may think it is just part of getting older. Many seniors assume it comes from sleeping with the mouth open, warm bedroom air, medications, or simple dehydration. And sometimes that is true. But in many older adults, dry mouth during the night is actually one of the earliest warning signs that blood sugar is no longer being controlled properly inside the body. That is where this becomes serious. Because long before diabetes is officially diagnosed, the body often starts sending quiet signals during sleep. Signals that are easy to dismiss. Signals that many people ignore for months or even years. And one of the most common is waking up repeatedly with unusual dryness in the mouth and throat. Over the last 30 years working with older patients, I have seen this pattern more times than I can count. A patient tells me they started waking up thirsty every night. Then came frequent urination, fatigue, blurry vision, tingling in the feet. By the time they finally checked their blood sugar, the damage had already begun affecting nerves, kidneys, circulation, or even vision. One patient I remember clearly was a 72-year-old man who thought his nighttime dry mouth came from snoring. He kept a glass of water beside the bed and never questioned it. But within 8 months, he began losing sensation in his toes. His blood sugar had been running dangerously high for far longer than he realized. The dry mouth was not the problem itself. It was an early alarm. And this is exactly what older adults need to understand. Your body rarely moves from normal blood sugar to dangerous diabetes overnight. It usually happens gradually, quietly, and silently. The warning signs often appear during ordinary daily routines and nighttime symptoms that people brush aside. In this video, I am going to explain why dry mouth after 60 can sometimes point toward hidden blood sugar problems, what is actually happening inside the body while you sleep, the dangerous symptoms most seniors miss, and most importantly, what you can do now to protect your nerves, kidneys, circulation, brain, and long-term independence. Because once blood sugar damage progresses too far, reversing it becomes much harder. And what happens next inside the body is the part most people never see coming. Most people believe dry mouth is simply a moisture problem. They think the mouth itself is becoming dry because of age, medications, or poor airflow during sleep. But when blood sugar is involved, the real problem starts much deeper inside the body. Now let me explain what is really happening. When blood sugar stays elevated for long periods, even slightly above normal, the body begins trying to remove excess glucose through the kidneys. Think of your kidneys like powerful filters. Their job is to clean the blood and balance fluid levels. But when too much sugar builds up in the bloodstream, those filters become overloaded. The body responds by pulling more water into the urine to flush out the extra sugar. That means you lose more fluid while sleeping. This is why many older adults with hidden blood sugar problems wake up repeatedly during the night to urinate. And every time the body loses fluid, the mouth and throat become drier. By morning, the tongue feels sticky, the lips feel cracked, and the body may already be mildly dehydrated before the day even begins. But that is only part of the story. High blood sugar also affects the tiny glands that produce saliva. Over time, excess glucose creates inflammation and damages small blood vessels that feed those tissues. Saliva production slows down. The protective moisture inside the mouth decreases. Harmful bacteria grow more easily. This is why some seniors notice bad breath, mouth sores, gum irritation, or a burning sensation on the tongue long before diabetes is diagnosed. And here is where older adults become especially vulnerable. As we age, the body naturally loses some ability to regulate fluids efficiently. Muscle mass declines. Kidney reserve decreases. Thirst signals become weaker. So the same blood sugar problem that might create mild symptoms in a younger person can produce much stronger nighttime symptoms in someone over 70. I often explain this to patients using a simple analogy. Imagine your bloodstream as a highway system delivering water and nutrients throughout the body. Excess sugar acts like thick debris clogging traffic. The delivery system becomes strained. Organs work harder, fluids become unbalanced, and the body begins sending warning signals during the quietest hours of the night. Dry mouth may seem minor, but in many seniors it is the first visible crack in a much larger metabolic problem. And the next warning sign often appears in a place most people never connect to blood sugar at all. One of the biggest mistakes older adults make is assuming blood sugar problems only affect weight or energy levels. In reality, high blood sugar often attacks the smallest and most delicate blood vessels first. That includes the eyes. Many seniors who wake up with dry mouth also begin noticing blurry vision in the morning. At first, they think they simply need stronger glasses. Some blame poor sleep or aging eyes, but fluctuating blood sugar changes fluid levels inside the lenses of the eyes themselves. Here is what happens. When glucose levels rise too high, fluid shifts occur throughout the body. The lens inside the eye can swell slightly, changing how light is focused. Vision becomes blurry or unstable. Some days are better than others. Some mornings seem worse after heavy evening meals or sugary snacks. This inconsistency is an important clue. True age-related vision decline is usually gradual and stable. Blood sugar-related vision changes often fluctuate unexpectedly, and this is the part many seniors miss. The same tiny blood vessels that nourish the eyes also nourish the kidneys, nerves, and brain. If blood sugar is already affecting vision, other areas may also be under silent stress. I remember a 68-year-old woman who told me her eyesight seemed strange only in the mornings. By afternoon, it improved slightly. She delayed testing her glucose because she thought cataracts were the cause, but her blood sugar was severely elevated. Early diabetic eye damage had already started developing. Fortunately, she caught it early enough to slow progression. That is why timing matters. If you wake up with dry mouth and also notice blurry vision, unusual thirst, nighttime urination, or fatigue after meals, do not assume these symptoms are unrelated. The body often sends clusters of warnings together. So what should you do? First, pay attention to patterns. Symptoms connected to blood sugar usually become worse after heavy carbohydrate meals, desserts, sweet drinks, or late-night snacking. Second, ask your doctor for fasting glucose and A1C testing if you have not checked recently. Many seniors live with elevated blood sugar for years without knowing it. And third, avoid ignoring subtle symptoms simply because they seem manageable. Because what happens next is where hidden blood sugar problems begin affecting something even more dangerous in older adults: the nerves. Nerve damage rarely begins with dramatic symptoms. It usually starts quietly. A little tingling in the toes, mild burning in the feet at night, slight numbness while walking, a strange crawling sensation in the legs. Many seniors dismiss these symptoms as poor circulation, aging, or fatigue. But elevated blood sugar is one of the most common causes of nerve damage in older adults. Think of nerves like electrical wires carrying signals throughout the body. They control sensation, balance, temperature awareness, muscle coordination, even organ function. But those delicate wires depend on healthy blood flow and stable metabolic conditions to survive. Excess glucose becomes toxic to them over time. High blood sugar damages the protective coating around nerves and injures the tiny blood vessels supplying oxygen to those tissues. Slowly, the signals weaken or become distorted. That is why some people feel numbness while others feel burning pain. And here is where nighttime symptoms become especially important. Many seniors notice nerve symptoms most strongly while lying in bed because there are fewer distractions. The body becomes quiet. Sensations become easier to feel. Dry mouth, burning feet, leg discomfort, and nighttime urination often begin appearing together. This is not coincidence. It is the body revealing a deeper metabolic imbalance. One patient in his late 70s told me he thought his feet felt numb because he sat too long watching television. But eventually he lost enough sensation that he could not feel a small cut near his toe. Infection developed quickly. That is one reason diabetic nerve damage becomes so dangerous. You lose the body's protective alarm system. And once nerve damage becomes advanced, recovery is difficult. So what can older adults do now? The first step is stabilizing blood sugar swings, especially at night. Large evening meals loaded with sugar, white bread, pasta, desserts, or sweet drinks often trigger nighttime glucose spikes. Try shifting dinner earlier and reducing heavy processed carbohydrates before bed. Second, stay hydrated consistently during the day instead of trying to catch up with water only at night. Third, pay attention to your feet daily. Look for redness, cuts, swelling, or changes in sensation. And finally, never assume numbness is harmless simply because it comes and goes. Because once blood sugar begins damaging nerves, the next systems often affected are the heart and circulation. And that is where the stakes rise dramatically after 60. Many people think diabetes is mainly about sugar. But the real danger is what high blood sugar does to blood vessels over time. Your circulation system is like a vast network of roads delivering oxygen and nutrients to every organ in the body. The inner lining of those blood vessels, called the endothelium, must stay smooth and flexible for healthy blood flow. Excess blood sugar slowly damages that lining. Inflammation increases. Blood vessels stiffen. Circulation weakens. The heart works harder. Blood pressure rises. And over time, the risk of stroke and heart attack begins climbing quietly in the background. This process often develops silently for years before a major event occurs. That is why waking up with dry mouth should never be viewed in isolation. For some seniors, it is part of a chain reaction already affecting circulation throughout the body. I have seen older patients complain first about nighttime thirst and fatigue. Months later, they begin experiencing dizziness when standing, swelling in the legs, chest tightness during walks, or unusual shortness of breath. Those are signs the cardiovascular system may already be under stress. And here's something many people do not realize. High blood sugar also makes the blood thicker and more inflammatory. Combined with aging arteries, this increases the risk of clot formation and poor circulation to the brain. That is one reason uncontrolled diabetes dramatically raises stroke risk in older adults. Now, this does not mean every person with dry mouth is heading toward a stroke. But it does mean the body deserves careful attention before more serious damage develops. So what practical steps help protect circulation? Start with evening habits. Avoid sugary desserts late at night. Reduce processed foods and heavily salted snacks. Prioritize protein, vegetables, fiber-rich foods, and balanced meals that create slower glucose release. Light movement after dinner can also help. Even a 10-minute walk improves how muscles use glucose. Sleep matters too. Poor sleep increases stress hormones that raise blood sugar overnight. And many seniors with nighttime dry mouth also unknowingly suffer from sleep apnea, which further strains the heart and metabolism. This is why symptoms often overlap. The body functions as one connected system. And in the next chapter, I want to explain a warning sign that many older adults mistake for simple aging fatigue when it may actually signal something much more serious. One of the most overlooked warning signs of unstable blood sugar after 60 is exhaustion that seems disproportionate to daily activity, not ordinary tiredness. I mean the kind of fatigue where you wake up already drained, struggle through the afternoon, and feel mentally foggy even after resting. Many seniors blame aging itself. But here is what is really happening. When blood sugar stays too high, cells cannot use glucose efficiently for energy. It is like having fuel trapped outside the engine. Even though sugar is present in the bloodstream, the body struggles to access it properly. The result is fatigue, weakness, brain fog, irritability, and poor concentration. And nighttime dry mouth often appears alongside this because the body is already working overtime trying to balance fluids and glucose levels during sleep. This becomes especially dangerous in older adults because fatigue increases fall risk. Slower reaction time, muscle weakness, and dizziness can quickly lead to serious injuries. I want to pause here for a moment because this part matters deeply. If you are over 60 and you regularly wake up with dry mouth, fatigue, or nighttime thirst, comment the word aware below. And if someone you love has these symptoms, let me know their age as well. These conversations help more older adults recognize warning signs earlier. Now here is another important point. Many seniors respond to fatigue by reaching for sugary snacks or sweet drinks for quick energy. Unfortunately, this often creates another blood sugar spike followed by another crash. Instead, focus on steady energy support, balanced meals, consistent hydration, gentle daily movement, protein intake, better sleep timing. Small changes repeated consistently can dramatically reduce metabolic stress over time. And what happens next inside the body, especially in the kidneys, is something every older adult needs to understand before damage becomes permanent. Your kidneys are among the hardest working organs in the body. Every single day, they filter waste, regulate fluid balance, manage electrolytes, and help control blood pressure. But when blood sugar stays elevated for years, those filters begin wearing down silently. This is where hidden diabetes becomes especially dangerous. Early kidney damage often causes almost no pain, no dramatic symptoms. Sometimes the first clues are subtle nighttime changes. Dry mouth, increased thirst, frequent urination, swelling in the ankles, or waking up exhausted despite sleeping through the night. Here is what is really happening. The kidneys contain millions of microscopic filtering units. Excess glucose damages those delicate structures over time, causing protein leakage and reducing filtration efficiency. Imagine running dirty water through a coffee filter continuously for years. Eventually, the filter weakens and tears. That is similar to what chronic high blood sugar can do inside aging kidneys. And older adults are particularly vulnerable because kidney function naturally declines somewhat with age, even in healthy individuals. I once treated a 75-year-old woman who thought her nighttime thirst simply came from dry indoor heating. She had no idea her kidney function was already beginning to decline from years of uncontrolled blood sugar. The problem was discovered only after routine lab testing. Fortunately, early detection allowed her to slow further damage significantly. That is why awareness matters so much. Once kidney disease becomes advanced, symptoms become far more severe. Fluid retention, dangerous blood pressure changes, weakness, nausea, confusion, and cardiovascular complications can follow. And there is another hidden connection most people never hear about. Damaged kidneys make blood pressure harder to control. High blood pressure then damages blood vessels even further, creating a dangerous cycle between diabetes, kidney strain, and heart disease. So what should seniors do now? If you wake up frequently with dry mouth and nighttime urination, ask for kidney testing along with blood sugar evaluation. Simple blood and urine tests can reveal problems early. Also be careful with excessive over-the-counter pain medications, especially NSAIDs, which can place additional stress on aging kidneys. Most importantly, do not wait for severe symptoms. Kidney damage often whispers before it screams. And the next warning sign many seniors overlook may actually appear in the brain long before they realize what is happening. Many older adults never connect blood sugar problems with memory changes, but the relationship is stronger than most people realize. The brain depends on stable blood flow and steady glucose regulation to function properly. When blood sugar swings become extreme, the brain experiences repeated metabolic stress. Over time, this can affect concentration, processing speed, mood, and memory itself. Some researchers now even refer to certain patterns of dementia risk as type 3 diabetes because of how strongly insulin resistance may affect brain health. Now, let me be clear. Not every memory lapse means diabetes. But when dry mouth, fatigue, poor sleep, nighttime urination, and mental fog begin appearing together, the body may be revealing a deeper metabolic imbalance. I often hear seniors say things like, "I just don't feel mentally sharp anymore." They misplace items, forget conversations, lose focus while driving, struggle to remember names they once recalled easily. Sometimes blood sugar instability is contributing quietly in the background. Sleep disruption makes this even worse. Repeated nighttime awakenings prevent the brain from entering deep restorative sleep cycles. And without proper deep sleep, memory consolidation suffers. This creates another dangerous cycle. Poor blood sugar disrupts sleep. Poor sleep worsens blood sugar regulation. Both increase inflammation and stress throughout the body. So what helps protect the brain? Stable routines matter enormously. Consistent sleep schedules, reduced evening sugar intake, gentle movement, mental stimulation, blood pressure control, hydration, regular glucose monitoring when appropriate, and perhaps most importantly, taking small symptoms seriously before larger damage develops. Because the body often gives older adults multiple opportunities to notice a problem early. The question is whether those signals are recognized in time. And in the next chapter, I want to bring everything together so you know exactly what practical steps to take starting today. So let us bring this together clearly. If you are over 60 and waking up regularly with dry mouth, your body may be asking for more than just water. It may be signaling hidden blood sugar instability, early diabetes, kidney stress, circulation problems, poor sleep quality, or metabolic strain already affecting multiple systems at once. That does not mean panic is necessary, but action is. The good news is that many older adults can dramatically reduce risk when problems are identified early. So here's what I recommend starting today. First, begin tracking patterns instead of isolated symptoms. Notice whether dry mouth happens after heavy dinners, desserts, alcohol, sweet drinks, or late-night snacking. Pay attention to nighttime urination, morning headaches, blurry vision, burning feet, unusual fatigue, or increased thirst. The body often reveals patterns before tests confirm disease. Second, schedule proper medical evaluation if these symptoms are recurring. Ask specifically about fasting glucose, A1C, kidney function, and blood pressure monitoring. Many seniors assume yearly routine visits automatically catch everything. Sometimes they do not. Third, focus heavily on evening habits because nighttime blood sugar regulation matters enormously. Try finishing dinner earlier. Reduce refined carbohydrates before bed. Avoid sugary snacks late at night. Increase fiber, vegetables, lean protein, and balance meals that digest more slowly. Fourth, hydrate intelligently. Many older adults drink too little during the day and then overcompensate late at night. This worsens nighttime bathroom trips and sleep disruption. Spread hydration more evenly throughout the day. Fifth, protect sleep quality. Sleep is not passive rest. It is active metabolic repair. Poor sleep increases stress hormones that push blood sugar higher. If you snore heavily, wake gasping, or feel exhausted despite sleeping, discuss possible sleep apnea evaluation with your doctor. And finally, stay physically active in safe, sustainable ways. Walking after meals, light strength training, stretching, and daily movement improve insulin sensitivity and circulation even later in life. Small actions create powerful long-term effects because the goal is not perfection. The goal is preserving independence, protecting the brain, supporting circulation, maintaining mobility, and reducing the chance that hidden blood sugar problems silently steal quality of life over time. And before we finish, there is one final message every older adult needs to hear clearly. Too many seniors ignore early warning signs because they do not want to seem worried, dramatic, or overly cautious. But there is nothing weak about paying attention to your body. In fact, awareness is one of the strongest forms of protection you have after 60. The body rarely sends only one warning signal. Symptoms like dry mouth, fatigue, blurry vision, numb feet, nighttime urination, poor sleep, and increased thirst often appear together quietly over time. Individually, they may seem harmless. Together, they can reveal a much larger metabolic problem developing beneath the surface. And this is important to remember. Diabetes damage does not begin the day someone receives a diagnosis. It often begins years earlier, while symptoms are still mild enough to ignore. That is why catching these patterns early matters so much, because early action can help protect your nerves, kidneys, circulation, heart, eyes, memory, and mobility before severe complications develop. You do not need fear. You need information, consistency, and awareness. I've seen many older patients improve their energy, stabilize blood sugar, sleep better, and reduce complications simply by responding earlier instead of later. Small daily decisions matter more than dramatic short-term efforts. A healthier dinner, more consistent hydration, better sleep habits, regular movement, routine testing, paying attention when the body whispers instead of waiting until it screams. And tonight, before you go to bed, I want you to ask yourself one simple question. Has your body been trying to warn you about something you have been dismissing as normal aging? Because recognizing that possibility may be the first step toward protecting your future health. If this video helped you understand these symptoms more clearly, share it with another older adult who may be waking up with the same warning signs and not realizing what they could mean. And subscribe for more medically grounded videos focused on protecting seniors from hidden health risks before they become life-changing problems. There is still so much you can do to support your health after 60. Early awareness matters, consistent action matters, and your body is always giving you information if you know how to listen carefully. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.